Welcome to the Face Music Podcast. My name is Matt and I'm your host. Welcome to episode number 42. I got a pretty special one for you guys this week. As always, we have our top 10. We catch up on a couple of weeks of music news. I have a huge announcement for you and my extremely special guest on the show today. You know her and the most metal parrot on the internet, Reebz, is on the show today. Stay tuned. You ready? Let's do it. Welcome to the show, everybody. What's been up? It's been a couple of weeks since we talked. The year has been off to a busy start, so episodes have been every other week. We'll probably go back to weekly episodes by, I would say, April. Tons of stuff going on behind the scenes with me that you will find out about today, actually. I have a great episode in store for you, but first, I just want to take a minute and thank Dark After Dawn for coming on the last episode and talking about their new era, about the band's brand new EP, Buried Light, which is due out in just a couple of short months. If you remember the interview, the band's newest member, Kyle, said this would be his first ever show playing live in a metal band. And if you follow the band on their Instagram, you saw what a successful show that this actually was. Congrats to the boys. Congrats, Kyle. I hope you had the time of your life up there, bro. Now, on today's show, we touch on some of the happenings in the hard rock and metal world. I have a banging top 10 for you. I have brand new show announcements. You guys get the exclusive early bird announcement before it goes public Friday, so stay tuned. And I am so excited and have the extremely talented, kind, energetic, and enthusiastic UK legend Reebz on the show, along with the single most metal parrot of all time. We had a great talk. Reebz, thank you so much for coming on the show. That's coming up for you guys in just a little bit. You know, my friends, last week we celebrated 1 year of the Face the Music podcast. This was something that I had wanted to do for a very long time, and when I was presented with the free time to do it, I decided finally it's time. Full speed or nothing. It was either going to work or it was going to go down in flames. And I was so afraid of failure that it took me an extra month just to find the nerve to hit record on a camera and pull the trigger. I was convinced that I was going to suck at this. Convinced that my insecurities were correct and that I should just give up before I make a fool of myself. One day, I sat here on my computer and I typed out a script. I rehearsed it for hours and I had a vision for what I wanted to do, where I wanted this to go. And the smallest step turned out to be what I needed in order to become comfortable. I just hit record and I had fun. Now, I'm over a year into this. I love this. I find this to be therapeutic in a way. Consider what therapy actually is, though. It's that small step we take that ultimately leads us to finding out something new about ourselves, which we didn't know, or leads us to do things that we didn't think were possible. All it takes is that one step, that one thought that says, I'm only hurting myself by not trying something new. Guys, I am proud to have BetterHelp as a sponsor on today's video. BetterHelp makes starting therapy easier. It's extremely simple. You just take the quiz and you'll be matched up with a licensed therapist in most cases within 48 hours. The best part is that you can communicate with your therapist however you feel the most comfortable. Either text or phone or video call. If your therapist is not the right fit for you, you can switch to somebody new at no extra cost to you. There's been over 6 million people to date who've gotten help through BetterHelp, earning them a 4.8 out of 5-star rating on the App Store. If you feel as though you're struggling with that first small step, my friends, I invite you to click the link in the description of this video, or please go to betterhelp.com/the FTM pod and get 10% off your first month of therapy. Also, I just wanted to say I recently became a brand ambassador for Nevin Eyewear. So if you click the link that's in the bio of my link tree that's on basically all my socials, and you order through that link, you get 30% off of your order. Nevin Eyewear is huge in the metal world. Their sunglasses, it's all things eyewear, worn by and have signature brands by Tanner Wayne, formerly of In Flames, of Tim Howley of Fit for an Autopsy, and so many more. So guys, click the link, get yourself some sick-ass sunglasses for the summer. It's starting to warm up. I know that I'm getting myself a couple of pairs going into the summer months, so please enjoy that on me. First-time listeners, welcome to the Face the Music family. This is your place for all things hard rock and metal music. This is your time to turn off all of the bullshit that has been stressing you out. No politics, no stress, just music and good conversation. I hope you enjoy. For all of my returning listeners, thank you so much for coming back once again for another episode of the Face the Music podcast. This episode, kind of like last episode, is pretty special, guys. Why? Well, last time we celebrated the 1-year birthday of the Face Music podcast, and this week is my actual birthday. So let's have some fun, crack open a cold one, and let's celebrate by listening to some crushing new music. If you guys are ready for this week's top 10, I am ready. Let's get into it. On this week's Top 10, we hear from Making Blind Eyes See. We hear from Malevolence, The War Within, the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza, Of Virtue, In Shallows, Accuse the Villain, We Set Signals, Sonder Sight, and Patterns of Decay. Just a heads up, if you're watching this on YouTube, you will not hear the clips of the songs in the top 10 due to YouTube's ridiculous licensing, but you can hear the show as intended in full on Spotify. There's a full playlist of all of the songs from the top 10 on Spotify from every week of the Face the Music podcast. I'll drop a code on the screen after our top 10 for you. Kicking things off today, out of Long Island, New York, we have one of the finest that the area has to offer. This band unfortunately disbanded a little while back, but it was on to better things for the band members individually. The band is The War Within. They were around for a while. They made a fuck ton of noise, and they left their mark. Back in 2021, during COVID, they released their album Nothing Is Sacred, and the first single slammed so fucking hard. I didn't know the bands in my local scene were writing songs like this professional sounding, this good. Today, I have that single for you. Despite the band no longer being around, their music still does, it just makes you want to go check it out, go listen to it, get into the band, and hope maybe one day they'll get their stuff back together and drop some more music for us. But please, make sure you go check them out. High quality band. I highly recommend it. Off of Nothing Is Sacred, this is The War Within with Reaper. At number 9, we have the band Sonder Sight. As per the band's Instagram and Spotify, Sonder Sight is a cinematic extreme metal project blending orchestral textures, death metal, and psychological themes. The project explores ritual, dread, and meaning through sound rather than lyrics. That's all I know about the band. That's all I was able to find. To keep it 100% honest, I love that. They are literally letting the music speak for itself. It looks like our only option for now is to just sit back and enjoy this mysterious band. So, at number 9 this week, we have their first and only piece of music the band has out. They are brand fucking new. This song dropped February 27th of this year, not even a full month old yet. Enjoy, my friends. At number 9 this week, this is Sondersight with The Invocation. Number 8, coming at us once again from right here on Long Island, New York. One of my all-time favorite independent bands from the area, Patterns of Decay. Patterns is a band that I have known for an extremely long time now. I've shared the stage with these guys more times than I can remember. Some of the nicest dudes, great sense of humor in their music. Don't twist that last statement though, because as funny as they are, and as funny as their song titles may be, they are a heavy metal loving band who's got something to prove. Their guitarist Matt was on last year with his side project Summergrave, with his only bandmate in that project, Dan from Liquid Studios. Big shout out to Liquid Studios, by the way. Matt told me that night that they'd be looking for a new singer in Patterns of Decay because their longtime frontman Christian was leaving the group. Well, things are moving in the Patterns camp, and I encourage everybody to pay attention. These guys are so damn good. They're consistent, they're great dudes, and they will always have my support. Our number 8 song off of the EP Self-Inflicted Friendly Fire, this is Patterns of Decay, The Blessed Defilement. Number 7, out of the New England area, we have the metalcore band In Shallows. You may have seen them on the Orion Reacts YouTube channel. If you were at the Uchikatsu and Dead Within Days show last weekend, you saw them there. I feel like they've been playing New York for a little while now, but either way, they are sick as fuck. They are a great band, great sound to them. They're heavy, they're melodic, they've got that New England flair. I love what I hear from these dudes, and I can't wait for more. I hope they come back to this area soon. Boys, if you're listening, come back to the island. Let's try to set up an interview too. I would love to talk to you about your music. Coming in at number 7 this week, this is In Shallows with their brand new single, Side Effects. Taking our number 6 slot this week, we have the Ohio quintet Accuse the Villain. Taking quotes from their Spotify profile, Accuse the Villain is born from the desire to create new music with purpose, involving deeply personal storytelling, mental health, and the belief that heavy music should mean something again. Preach. Continuing, at the core, Accuse the Villain is about authenticity, not about clout chasing. Just a group of artists dedicated to building music that resonates with themselves first, and with anyone who's ever needed a song that understands the struggle. By that alone, I'm a fan. I love that. Their music is also raw and as real as it gets, and if you don't believe me, see for yourself. Stay on the lookout for new music. At number 6 this week, my friends, this is Accuse the Villain with their 2024 single, Hatred Paradise. Coming up at number 5, we have the Australian band We Set Signals. I found this band about 2 days ago, and I loved their sound. The band says that they are for fans of I Prevail and A Day to Remember, so that heavy pop punk sound. And I gotta say, pretty fucking accurate. Funny enough, guys, I found this band at the best, but also kind of the worst timing possible because they're about to release their brand new single, Collapse, this Friday, my birthday, March 20th. Crappy timing because I would have loved to feature the new single for the guys, but I'm glad I found them to even know about the new release. So that's pretty win-win for me, I would say. Stay tuned with these guys, though. Obviously, they have some stuff in the works, so if you like what you hear, go give them a follow. Stay updated on all things. And taking our number 5 spot, this is We Set Signals with The End of Me. Number 4, out of the early 2000s prog metal scene, the boys in the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza have returned with brand new music and the announcement of their brand new album, Danza 5. The band began back in 2004 and incorporates genres such as prog, mathcore, and grindcore. They went inactive in 2012 and they started popping up again last year in 2025. Currently, the band's lineup consists of Jesse Danza Freeland on vocals, Mason Crooks on drums, Mike Butler on bass. We have Josh Travis, Lane Millane, tongue twister of a name, and Eric Berngruber on guitars. The dudes are back. They're heading over to Europe this year, and looks like we're in store for a full force comeback. The band recently released a brand new track, which also happens to be our number 4 song of the week. This is the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza with Say When. Before we get into our top 3 songs of the week, here's a quick recap of our top 10 so far. At number 10, we had The War Within with Reaper. Number 9, we had Sonder Sight, The Invocation. Number 8, we had Patterns of Decay, The Blessed Defilement. At number 7, we had In Shallows with Side Effects. Number 6, Accuse the Villain, Hatred Paradise. At number 5, we had We Set Signals with The End of Me. And at number 4, we just heard from the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza with Say When. Coming in at our number 3 spot, we have Lansing, Michigan metalcore band Of Virtue. Of Virtue formed back in 2008. The current lineup currently sits with original members Michael Valadez and Damon Tate on guitars, and joined by vocalist Tyler Ennis and drummer Ryan Trin. Since their debut in 2008, they've released 3 EPs, 4 albums, the most recent one being 2023's Omen. In 2026, the band just released a brand new single, which comes to us as our number 3 song of the week. This is Of Virtue with Death of the Altar. At number 2, we have the band Making Blind Eyes See. Hailing from the UK, the band has become one of the prominent voices from the area. They combine the melodic and aggressive elements of metal into pure and incredible sound. They're a band that continuously pushes boundaries and challenges everyday norms that factor in emotion, exploring themes of resilience, of inner struggle, the human experience, and the pursuit of truth. The band has released 3 studio albums, the most recent being self-titled, and that came out back in 2024. Last month, the band dropped their first single, first new single, which I'm just going to go ahead and I'll speculate for everybody. It's going to be the first of an upcoming album that hasn't been released or announced yet. We might as well get the old rumor mill churning for absolutely no reason. Somebody called TMZ. They like reporting fake shit that some asshole on the internet made up. At number 2 this week, returning to our top 10, this is Making Blind Eyes See, Snakes and No Ladders. And finally, our number 1 song, also from the UK and definitely not a first-timer on our top 10. I had featured these guys last year when they had dropped their new album, Where the Truth is Spoken, and I heard the song If It's All the Same to You, and these guys were immediately a mainstay on my radar. The band, if you aren't already familiar, is the band Malevolence. They're a fucking amazing band. They're the total package. They're great musicians, they're great songwriters, they are tasteful with their riffs, and they don't overcomplicate anything to get their point across. They just recently released a brand new song that encompasses an entirely different side of the band, a modern day power ballad called Silhouette. It's a beautiful song. It's heavy, it's emotional, it's incredibly well written. 99% clean vocals, and man, this band is going to be huge. They've been around for a little bit, but they're just starting on their career. Everybody, please go check them out. Go follow them. Don't miss a moment in their career. This is such a well-deserved number 1, and I can't wait for anything and everything that this band does next. Ladies and gentlemen, our number 1 song of this week. This is Malevolence with their brand new single, Silhouette. Every week, I am proud to feature both signed and unsigned bands from all over the world. From the USA to Japan, from the UK to Australia, and beyond. I find a lot of bands, but only deliver the best of the best directly to you. It is my favorite part about doing what I do. Supporting music is something I'm extremely passionate about, and I do it because if you're listening, we share that passion. Go follow these bands. Let's help them grow together. You can find the Face the Music Top 10s playlist featuring all the bands right here on the podcast by either searching Spotify or scanning the code that is on your screen now. Bands, friends, if you would like to be a guest on the show, let's set something up. Just a heads up though, I am booked out now a few weeks in advance. Schedule's loosening up a little bit, but it's still quite a wait. So what that means for you is that if we record today, your episode will not be heard for about 3 to 4 weeks. So if you want to come on the show, please do not wait. Hit me up as soon as possible. 2026 is already off to a hell of a start. I have already gotten a name that I didn't think would even be possible for me to get, which you'll be hearing from very soon. If you follow me on social media, you already know who it is. But the next episode is going to be interesting. Please go follow. And hey, go follow me on my Instagram account. It's already out there. No surprises for next week. But a great interview is coming your way with a very big name in the metal world. Shoot me an email if you'd like to set up an interview. Email me at theftmpod@gmail.com. Guys, real quick, if you have not already, make sure you are subscribed to the podcast on Spotify and YouTube. I'm on a mission to reach 100 subs by June. This has been around for over a year now. I should already be at 100 subs. So this is on you guys. I need your help. Let's do this together. Let's reach these goals. It's not far off, but the only way I can do it is with your help. So when you're subscribed, you automatically get notified when new episodes are posted. If you follow my socials, Instagram, Facebook, you get early bird announcements sometimes. You get little hints as to who's going to be on the show next. As I just said, special guest, huge guest coming on the show for the next episode. And if you follow me, you already know who it is. I will say to you guys, I appreciate all of the support. I appreciate everyone who follows me, everyone who subscribes. I can't do it alone. You guys are the absolute best, and this wouldn't have gotten past one episode if not for you. I haven't done this in a bit, but I want to talk to you guys about some upcoming shows that I've got going on. This isn't going to be every single show you can find on Long Island, but it's just things that I've got going on in my life. This is including one very big announcement featuring a fistful of bands that you've heard right here on the Face of Music podcast. So, first up, next Saturday, March 28th, Project Zero plays its second show ever. My birthday is March 20th. That would be tomorrow if you're listening, Friday, March 20th. But we're celebrating next week, so come hang out. Also appearing is the MySpace Band, playing all of your early 2000s alt hits and Break Stuff, Long Island's newest Limp Bizkit tribute. It's going to be an extremely fun night. Come celebrate, come hang. $18 through the door. This goes down at City Sound Studios in Ronkonkoma, New York. After that, April 26th, I will be a featured vendor at the Devoted Fusion album release party for their newest release, Ship Me to Heaven. That's Amityville Music Hall, Amityville, New York. It's a Sunday show. It's an early show. It starts at 3:30 in the afternoon. So come chill, have a beer or two with me, and let's hang out. Next up, May 1st, I have something special to tell you guys about. It is a big announcement. It's not the big announcement, but all I can tell you is that Project Zero is playing again, and the next episode, I could probably spill the beans. May 30th, Jersey. It is time for you to show up. Another Project Zero show just for you. This time we're heading to QXT's in Newark to play with a bunch of sick-ass tributes for a great night of new metal and metalcore. Crownless Kings is covering Killswitch Engage. Obviously, you have us covering Linkin Park. The band Redefined. Not the boys from the South that I'm friends with, but the New Jersey band. They used to be that new metal band. They have rebranded themselves, and they cover a multitude of bands now in different sets. So this night in particular, they have one set they're doing as Limp Bizkit. The other set they are doing as Sevendust. You guys know by now how big of a Sevendust fan I am. You know that I'm going to have a microscope on these guys trying to see what they do. I'm not worried. I've seen videos of them before and they rip shit, so I can't wait. But guys, $15 in advance or $20 at the door. Buy early, but make sure you buy and you get there. Let's throw down together. Let's show Jersey what it is. Let's party New York style. We hit the stage at 10 o'clock. This one goes late as fuck, so stay late and have some fun with us. And now, the big announcement. The one that I have been busting at the seams over. Last year, I introduced you to the band Kill Baron. This band caught my attention immediately and actually completely won me over with just one song. Instantly became a fan of these guys. I had them on a show as special guests, and we talked about their 2026 plans. I asked them if they ever wanted to leave the state. If they ever wanted to come up north, I would get them on a show and, I would set it up for them. Well, when we ended the interview that night, when cameras were off, so to speak, we were talking a bit more about this idea of them coming up here. Turns out that they had an idea that they wanted to go on a weekender in July of 2026. They were looking the weekend of July 17th. So I put that on my calendar and I said, well, let's sit on this for a bit and we'll talk about it and plan it out and see what we can do. When they confirmed on my end that they wanted to book this date, they told me they were coming up. They said they were bringing their friends, the Astro Cats from New Jersey. And the date they wanted was July 17th. Well, my friends, I am so excited to announce to you all, July 17th, 2026, City Sound Studios in Ronkonkoma, New York. I finally have the boys from Kill Baron coming up north to make their New York debut. They're bringing Astro Cats from Jersey. Rounding out the lineup, we have 3 of my favorite Long Island bands. We have my dudes in Tethered. We have Rominer. And headlining the night, I am so excited to say, Path We Choose is on the bill. This is going to be one of the best metal shows on the island this summer. You do not want to miss it. There's also going to be a food truck on site. We're going to announce that way later, probably late June. I'll tell you who it's going to be. I may even take a poll to see what you guys would want there. But we have doors opening at 6:30. The first band is going to kick it off at 7 o'clock. That's plenty of time to get home from work, get changed, and come rage with us. Long Island, let's show Kill Baron and Astro Cats what the fuck we do. Let's bring it and make their first New York trip feel like home. Today, in music news, since we're going back a couple weeks, there's a few things that I want to touch on. First up, there's a brand new Iron Maiden movie called Burning Ambition coming out May 7th in theaters. It gives us a look into what Maiden's vision for the group itself is and the connection the band has with their fans. It's a career-spanning movie and features interviews from the entire band, as well as former drummer Nico McBrain, their manager Rod Smallwood, actor Javier Bardem for some reason. That kind of caught me off guard. Lars Ulrich is going to be in it, Tom Morello, Scott Ian, and so many more. The trailer is online, and you can also grab tickets now for the May 7th release on the movie's website. Next up, we have big congratulations in order. Mr. Papa Het himself got engaged this past weekend while scuba diving with his girlfriend. I'm glad James was able to find happiness, but best wishes to the happy couple. You guys remember Vinnie Vincent? All guitars for Kiss. Lasted about a year, maybe. Vinnie was on Creatures of the Night and he was on Lick It Up, but ultimately he was fired from the band due to conflicts with, you guessed it, Gene and Paul. Vinnie refused to sign an employment contract and they let him go. Vinnie was the first guitarist to replace Ace Frehley back in 1982. Vinnie, who has done really nothing of relevance since being booted from Kiss, recorded a solo album over the last few years and in true Kiss fashion has done everything he can to squeeze every dime out of every diehard Kiss fan who are dumb enough to pay for bullshit. Sounds harsh, right? It is harsh, but if you're dumb enough to fall for what I'm about to tell you, you deserve the ridicule. Vinnie was going to sell each individual song from this album for $200 a piece. The single that he would be selling, each individual song would be selling only once they hit 1,000 pre-sales. So once Vinnie nets about $200,000, he will send out these singles, which I can only imagine would be sent out in the form of a vinyl, plus shipping and handling, by the way. Do not expect Vinnie to pay for your shit. As expected, this plan flopped. Vinnie, with balls the size of grapefruits, he demanded he be compensated for his work. He said, unless I get compensated for my work, the album stays unheard. It comes down to this. If the fan support is not there, which it does not appear to be, the record will not be released. Am I fine with that? Absolutely, 100%. It'll be the greatest album of all time, never to be heard, never to be released. If people want my music and they think they're punishing me by not buying it because of the price, it matters not to me. They're the ones who will lose out. I'm surprised he didn't last longer in Kiss with an ego like that. Acting like his hidden catalog is more valuable than, let's say, Prince's. Fucking crazy. Oh wait, there's more to this batshit craziness. March 15th of this year, Vinnie Vincent announced his new supervillain plan. He's going to sell the entire album to one lucky person for $2 million. But it gets better. Vinnie will send you his entire album for a cool $2 million, but you have the right to act as a record label by manufacturing and selling the album yourself. Another gigantic expense for anybody who's not in the know of what kind of cost goes into album distribution. So you buy this album for $2 million, and you're going to consider this an easy investment because the album surely will sell and you'll make your money back, right? Hold your horses there, bucko. Quote, all marketing plans and ideas require approval by Vinnie Vincent. The price does not include any right, title, or interest in the copyrights and or trademarks related to Vinnie Vincent or the product itself. If the buyer wishes to purchase any associated rights in the compositions, a separate agreement can be arranged and negotiated. Basically, breaking this down further, you buy the album for $2 million. Vinnie Vincent does his little Dr. Evil laugh, and you decide you want to distribute the album and collect some cash to recoup your investment. Let's say you didn't read that fine print, though. Well, you distribute and you sell, but you only own the album. You don't own the rights to the album. You don't own the rights to the songs. So you could sell it, but the money goes back to Vinnie Vincent. This dude is an egomaniac, and it turns out a huge piece of shit. I don't even think Gene Simmons is that bad, and he would try to sell dog shit earrings to a woman wearing white gloves. Next up, not as big of a rant on this one, but David Gilmour of Pink Floyd just had his legendary black Fender Stratocaster sell at auction for $14.5 million. That makes this the most highest priced guitar in history, shattering Kurt Cobain's MTV Unplugged guitar, which sold for $6 million. The guitar is synonymous with David Gilmour. It's recorded every single major Pink Floyd release that's come out, from Dark Side of the Moon to The Wall to Animals to Wish You Were Here. Yeah, mods have been made to the guitar, but to have one instrument record all of those truly legendary songs, shit, I'd pay the price tag if I had it, but better believe it's living in a glass case forever. Now, lastly, we lost a true rock legend recently. Phil Campbell, longtime guitarist of Motorhead, recently passed away at the age of 64. My sincerest condolences go out to the family. Ladies and gentlemen, today I have an incredibly special guest for you. I saw this video a little while back. This girl with some of the nastiest vocals I've ever heard, just tearing it up. And her bird hanging out on the top of her door, jamming its little feathers off, dude. It was so funny, giving her little woos from the pit like he's ready to open shit up. Nobody can hear me come. Existence is me. Immediately, I watched more videos that she had up. I saw that she did a track with fucking Cell Dweller. That's someone that I've listened to for give or take 20-ish years now. I saw how insanely talented she was, and I reached out as I would, wanted to have her as a guest on the show. I didn't think much of it. I didn't think she would do it, but to my surprise, she was so enthusiastic about it. She was so excited to come on and talk, and man, how infectious that energy was. I am talking about the one and only Reebz, the insanely talented vocalist from across the pond. She is hard at work on forming a band of her own, on recording and producing her first album, and performing live DJ sets for hundreds of people. Reebz, she's a low-key rock star. She's going to be huge once this band is together and she starts ripping shows. She's one of the ones that I know has what it takes to make it far. Cheers, Reebz. You are an absolute legend. Welcome to the Face the Music podcast. Welcome to the Face the Music podcast, and I'm so happy to have you here. So for anyone who is not aware, why don't you give a quick introduction for yourself?
Okay, so hi, thank you so much for having me on the podcast,
Of
firstly.
course.
Stop, sorry if you hear any wisecracks in the background, it's just this dude here. My name is Reebz. I am well, I I'm a vocalist, but I'm also like I guess metal musician who was solo and has now kind of turned into a band. So I'm like the face of the band. And yeah, we've got a lot of really exciting stuff lined up for this year, which hopefully I'm very excited to talk about with you.
I can't wait to hear about it. So now when I found you, I was scrolling through Instagram, and anytime I see something involving Cell Dweller, I stop and take an extra look because I've been following his music for God, probably 20 years now. Started listening to him all the way back in like high school. So to see that, I was like, oh, cool, he's got new shit. And I know that he's got, his metal project that he's revamping. So when I stopped on that track, I was like, damn, this is good. This is really good. Who's that girl singing for him? And I was blown away, dude. Like it had such a good sound to it. You're such a good vocalist, and it really like it caught me. So immediately I was like, she's working with someone that I've listened to forever. I gotta talk to this girl, see what's up, and see what that was like, and explore who you are because like I realized like I'm looking at your page, I'm like you've been around, but like you're kind of up and coming now, and it's cool to see you at the beginning of that wave of like actually really coming up. What was that whole experience like?
Oh, well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much. Like, it always is really, it genuinely always means such a lot to me to, hear that people like my vocals and stuff. Because, music and especially vocals has always been something that I've been so passionate about throughout my life, and I've only really started to properly pursue it in the last few years, but yeah, it means a lot. So thank you so much for that, firstly.
You're
And
very welcome.
secondly, I've got to say, like, I'm literally on the same page as you in that Cell Dweller has always been a massive inspiration to me. Right from when I heard Frozen like years ago, I was like, oh my God, this is the
Same.
coolest thing ever. Yeah, yeah, literally. I swear it's always like Frozen, the Switchback as
Yep.
well is like, the classics. Absolutely
That was my
was so cool.
introduction too.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
two, I think it
exactly.
was the instrumental switchback and Frozen, all that shit. Dude, right
Hell
away.
yeah,
I was
man.
like hooked on it.
They same, honestly, I was like mesmerized. I think it was it was just like my first introduction to um kind of the metal with this also this really sharp electronic twist
Yeah.
to it.
Yep.
I guess maybe not my first, but I don't know, it was really was mesmerizing to me. And I was like, oh my God, I got really, really into Cell Dweller. And it's just kind of been so surreal to finally, like, a few years later, be here in this position where I've had the absolute privilege of being able to work with him and Swarm on Fate Breaker. And yeah, it was just such an incredible experience. And it was so fun as well. Like the
Yeah.
process, the writing process. I think for me, I that's the most important thing is that I'm always having fun with what I
Mhm.
do. And that was really, really cool. Just the creative process, coming up with like the concept and I always have like a storyline in mind when I write lyrics and stuff, all the way through to filming the video. It was just great. It was so much fun.
That's awesome. And how did that come to be? Like, how did you get in contact with him and this whole how the
Yeah,
pieces of the puzzle fall together?
yeah. So it again, it's like it's a crazy journey when I look back on it. So I started to work with a producer called Toronto is Broken, who I do a lot of collaborations with. And he was signed to Fixed, which is Cell Dweller's label, um, at the time of doing his solo album. And originally, when I was working with Toronto is Broken, it was really funny because it was only supposed to be like a just for one track, like just, one kind of bonus track type thing.
Right.
And we ended up writing several tracks throughout his album, along with another like incredibly talented musician called Sabotage. And it was kind of from there that I guess I guess like the door kind of opened in that sense. I started to then work with other artists. I absolutely love Fix. Like it's such a great label and it's kind of like a little family, it feels. It's so cool to work with people on the label. And I got to do several more collaborations with other artists on Fixed. And then it came about that Cell Dweller kind of emailed me, and originally, the idea was to have a track, and it was going to be for another one of his side projects originally. So it was going to be a majority very sort of synth based track. And I was like well up for it, like if I hear something or I hear a demo of something and I'm resonating with it, I'm instantly locked in, and I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this. So I came up with like a kind of a demo draft of like some vocals. And I was absolutely blown away. When he emailed me back, he was like, right, I love this so much, but I want to turn it into a Cell Dweller track. And I was like, no way, dude. It was so cool. It was literally like that was my dream.
Right.
And yeah, it just kind of developed and evolved from there into what it is that you hear today.
That's very cool.
It is. It's a really long, crazy journey, but I think where we got to at the end of it is amazing.
Right. And then you got to go do the video and everything you were saying as well.
Yeah, that was cool. That was genuinely so surreal. I'm really so sorry, by the way, if you're hearing any background noise. It's this
Totally
little
cool.
dude here. I know you want attention. If he gets too disruptive, I'll remove you from from this area. Um, so yeah, the music video was awesome because it was filmed entirely on green screen,
Oh,
and
cool.
it was the first shoot that I've ever done on with a green screen before.
Yeah.
Um, and I think again, it's the fascination of the creative process for me, where I was really, it was amazing because obviously I'm in the UK,
Yeah.
so we filmed all of my parts in the UK. And then Cell Dweller Swarm filmed all of their parts like in the US. And just seeing how that all came together was absolutely amazing. It was so great.
Yeah, it's cool when you can kind of conceptualize something like that and you see everything on different location, but it pieces together so well that it looks like it was all like one shot in person.
Absolutely.
That's very cool. And where technology is now, like you see it happening more and more. Um, like a while back, I was in a recording studio up here, and it's called Voodoo Studios. And I think at the time Lamb of God had just dropped, I forget what album, but the song Memento Mori, I think it might be the
Oh
name of
yeah,
the
yeah,
album too.
yeah.
Um, they needed like a scientist in a lab for the video. So we walk in one day and my recording engineer is just completely clean shaven. Like, what happened to your beard, dude? He goes, "Oh, I'm doing a music video and I had to clean it up." And I'm like, "Well, you weren't really like unkempt." He goes, "No, directions from the band. They want clean shaven. They needed like a
Oh,
scientist look." I'm like, "What band?" He goes, "Oh, Lamb of God." I was like, "Shut up, dude."
so
They're
cool. That's
like
goals,
they're
man.
was like, they're all the way in Virginia though. They're like 8.5 hours away. Like, how are they doing this? He goes, well, film crew, because Tom Flynn does a lot of their videos. He just did their latest one for Into Oblivion too. Um,
Sick.
so Tom lives here on Long Island, and that's where the studio is. So Tom did all the parts that were supposed to be like the science lab here. They got it out the studio, transformed it into that part of the video, filmed all that here, and then he, I guess, traveled down there and did their parts, pieced it all together, and it's such a cohesive video. Like you wouldn't be able to tell that it's two different locations, like almost 10 hours away from each other. Like it's cool how
Totally.
that kind of stuff works.
Exactly. Yeah, honestly, again, it fascinates me. It's
Yep.
just so cool when you see the end result and going from literally just like that little studio, like the green screen studio, and then seeing how it all comes together at the end.
Yep.
And with the Fate Breaker video, for example, in this like cool, like I don't know, like alternate cyberpunk universe. It was amazing. Really great.
That's very cool. So how long have you been doing music now?
So I started it's cool because I've always loved music, always been so passionate about it. Um and I kind of had a band as well, like just when I left school quite a few years ago. And of course, you know, I guess like normal grown-up life takes over and you get full-time jobs and stuff kind of doesn't necessarily stick, and
Yeah.
it as it panned out, that's sort of what happened. So I guess I kind of like left my aspirations with music behind for quite a few years. And then really, I guess the turning point for me was over the lockdowns that we had.
Mm,
It was that sort of like revelation moment where I had all this spare time to think and stop and breathe that you wouldn't normally ever have.
right.
And yeah, it was kind of at that moment where I'm at home, I'm like twiddling my thumbs. I'm like, what do I do with myself? Like, because I worked in hospitality at the time. Um, and I don't know if it was the same for you guys as it was over here, but like all hospitality businesses were just on absolute lockdown, like closed down.
Hmm.
It was crazy.
Depends
Again, a
on what
really,
depends on what area of hospitality. Were you
yeah,
like
food,
restaurant work? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
food, cafe, yeah, coffee, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it was, yeah, very, very customer facing. Also, you're working with food, so there's the hygiene aspect of that. And yeah, for a good few months, I was just sat at home, like, what do I do with my time and my life? And it was kind of in that moment where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do the stuff that like I've always wanted to do
Yep.
and see what happens. And I guess that was where like the seed was planted at that point. And then we get into, I guess it was like late 2021, early 2022. That was when I really was like, okay, I'm actually going to try and do this. And it's really crazy starting, when you start something completely from scratch.
Yeah.
I felt like it almost felt to me metaphorically like knocking on a door online, and you open the door and it's this massive room full of people and nobody knows who you are. And you're like, hi,
Yeah.
I'm Reebz and I do singing and stuff. Um, and luckily for me, I have got such an awesome support network, and I've made such amazing friends along the way who've like believed in me, and what it is that I want to do. Um, one of my really good friends, shout out to DJ Zardonic. If anyone will know who DJ Zardonic is, he is absolutely awesome. And he's again like a real pioneer for the whole kind of crossover metal and bass sort of electronic metal kind of sound. And yeah, he was one of the first people who kind of, I guess, kind of sort of found me and was like, yo, I really believe in what you're doing. Like, there's something to this. It's cool. Um, and that gave me a lot of confidence because confidence, I'll be really honest, is like
Yeah.
something I struggle with. So to have people, kind of like backing me who are like, we believe in what you're doing, dude, like keep going. And it means a lot. And I think it was around early 2022 where I I got involved in the collaborative process with various artists and stuff, um, mainly in drum and bass, like, but kind of in that niche crossover of the metal and drum and bass sort of thing. Um, and yeah, it just kind of went from there, really. It was, I guess, yeah, early 2022 is when it really started um, to kind of kick off. And it's really cool. It's been a great journey ever since.
That's cool. I know a lot of people have like the same moment of discovery during the shutdown where it's like, well, if I've been working my entire life, so maybe it's time to, take advantage of the free time that I have now and explore something. And
Yeah,
the
just
amount of
see what
people,
happens.
exactly, the amount of people that discovered either music or a career change or, just something different for their lives and it turned out for the better, It's cool to see how many people really harness that. Um, but that's awesome that just an inspirational moment for you turned into something that would ultimately change your life.
Oh, I do
That's
it
that's the kind of
totally.
success stories that like I love to hear. Um,
It's not been like an overnight process though,
oh
it's
hell no,
been
nothing ever
uh
is.
yeah, but I think it's also it's a really great example of stick at your dreams, like stick
Yeah,
at what you want to do because eventually stuff will change and things will start happening. And for a long time there was so much that I had to learn along the way and figure out because one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't do anything in the way of like going to music college or some, I wish that I had done this and instead, I finished sixth form, which is like the final end of high school in the UK,
yeah,
and then I just went straight into full-time work. um and yeah, I wish in hindsight that I had done something more oriented around music and the creative process of music.
right.
So for me, it's all been like entirely self-taught, and I've had so much to learn along the
Mhm.
way. And there's all, as I'm sure you know, there's so many different aspects to music.
Yeah.
It's not just singing. Like you've got to know how to communicate with people,
Yep.
and which I'm really bad at.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting better, but and I don't want to blame it all on my ADHD, but some of it I will hold that accountable. Um, but it's yeah, there's been so much to have to learn along the way, and therefore, like for me, it's not been an overnight process, but I feel like I'm getting to a point now where like things hopefully are starting to kind of move forward at like a slightly quicker pace, which is really cool. And it just goes to show it's like even if you feel like you're only making small steps for a long time to start with, just keep going and keep doing what you love because eventually somewhere down the line it will pay off.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah,
You know, you mentioned going to school for music, and I mean, it's never too late to do that, and the internet being what it is, you could probably find anything you need to know, probably for free. And I
totally.
mean, it's a powerful tool to use,
Yeah,
but what music really comes down to is just a passion. You have to be passionate
absolutely.
about it first because otherwise, like if you go to school for it or if you go to work every day and you're teaching music or something, it becomes monotonous if you lose the flame for it. So if you're doing something every day and you're like, no, I love what I do when I wake up, there's no need to really go to school for that unless you want to. But anything you learn in school is basically everything you're going to learn anyway, just taking the journey. So
Totally.
if you're happy with what you're doing, don't even, I mean, I'm not discouraging going to school by all means, like do it up, but you're so passionate about what it is that you're doing right now and you're learning all the stuff anyway. And music is nothing more than something that's based around ideas. There's no wrong answers in
Absolutely.
music. So if you're gonna go to school to learn it, it's kind of like, well, you're just learning other people's ideas. Um,
Totally.
and like, music.
I really like that. I love that mentality of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I think that's great. And for me, it's that definitely is how is my mindset. And I think, you know what, as long as I'm progressing and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, then I try not to dwell too long in, in like, oh, I regret not doing this or I regret doing that or whatever. I try not to dwell on that
Yeah.
for that exact reason. I think like actually if I'm making progress now and I'm loving what I do, then it's all cool.
Right. It's music has no rules to it. So you do whatever makes you happy with it and you're succeeding with it.
Oh, yeah,
Um
totally.
but there's a lot of people that like make their profession first and then they go back and they decide like I think I want to teach this or I want to expand my knowledge to other people. And I mean, you see it a lot with movie stars. Like they'll be acting for 20 years and say I'm going to go to get my degree now and then I'm going to teach for the rest of my career. That's cool. You're sharing your experiences, but you were doing it. I'd rather do
Yeah,
it than teach it.
totally.
Um, but
I,
like,
I feel you. I feel you with
yeah,
this, definitely. I'm definitely better at doing than explaining
yeah.
and teaching. Yeah.
My my wife always tells me I should go like teach guitar. I was like, but dude, I feel like I barely know what I'm doing. Like I could play it, sure, but I can't explain it. Like I
Yeah, I
never
feel this.
I never took lessons. I taught myself everything. So it's like, yeah, I really feel like I'm not in a position where I should be teaching other people how to play an instrument that I had to figure out too, you know. But
I
I don't.
totally get. Oh my God, I totally get. It's like so many people ask me for like vocal tutorials and stuff, which I at some point I will do, but I always have this disclaimer of like, actually, guys, like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So you just yeah, you can try and decipher this if you want,
Right.
and if it resonates with you, great. Because I'm like, I'm totally not about gatekeeping. Like, if there's something that I can say or do that might click with someone or help, then 100% I'll do that.
Yeah.
But I can't promise that it's going to make any sense.
That's the side of things that like, it seems easy to be like, yeah, I could teach you how to do this, but this is how I learned how to do this. So is this going
Totally.
to make sense to you too? Like you kind of, in a way, you have to find your own techniques.
Yeah.
I saw a video yesterday. Do you know who Nuno Bettencourt is?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yes, yes.
Guitars from Extreme.
Yeah,
I saw a video of him yesterday, and he was teaching at a clinic with a room full of guitarists. And he's like, my dream when I was a kid was to be Eddie Van Halen. And he's like, I wanted that sound. I wanted to play like Eddie. I wanted to be him. And one day, Extreme was opening for Van Halen, and I walk in the room and they're sound checking, and there's Eddie's rig. There's his guitar, his amplifiers, the pedals, like his sound is there. And he was offered a shot to play through Eddie's rig using his guitar. And he said,
wow.
he's like, it was a dream come true moment for me. I picked up the guitar, I started playing, and I heard me. And I'm like, damn. He's like, you could have the gear that someone else uses. You can have everything that makes someone else them. But at the end of the day, what you do will never be anything but you. And you
Yeah,
can never be ashamed of that. He's like, you're always going to have your sound. And that's something that's unique to you. And that, I mean, it hit me. I was like, wow, that's really cool. That's really like kind of deep. It's like you could try to be anyone else in the entire world, but at the end of the day, you're always going to sound like you, and that's something that you need to embrace and harness and kind of foster and grow. Um,
100%, dude. 100%. I totally feel that because it's the same with vocals is that your voice is your voice. It's unique to you.
yeah,
And I mean, I always strive for, and it will be a never ending goal, which I think is good, but I'm always striving to be the best that I can be. And
yep,
I'm absolutely fascinated with vocals. I'm fascinated with just like how people produce sounds.
yeah,
But then I always try not to lose sight of the fact that it's like, okay, cool, I really want to learn how to do that thing, but always keep in my mind that I'm going to sound like me doing that thing, not that person doing that
right.
thing, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think, I mean, that's just such good advice. It really is.
Do you know who Will Ramos is?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah,
Singer of
me,
Lorna.
me, and Feather Bros. We're very good. Yeah, big fans. Lorna Shore. Yeah.
So he did a video with a vocal coach, I think either last year or the year before, and they took him to a lab and they gave him an endoscopy.
Yeah, I see. I've
You
seen.
saw
Yeah, it
that?
was. Yeah, I ca what is it? Charismatic? Was it with
Yes,
charismatic voice? I
I
think.
believe
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah,
Yep. And
so cool.
they saw how like the vocal cords produce sounds and like what the shapes make, and it was
Yeah,
so cool. But yeah, no, when you
yeah,
said like you want to know like about how it makes sounds, I was like, I wonder if she's seen
totally.
that.
Yeah, 100%. I've seen that, and again, it was absolutely fascinating. Um, I think like I'm quite a visual learner as well. Like I learn mostly through hearing and listening with stuff. I think it's probably why I get on so well with parrots because because my I I find like mimicking or trying to mimic something is the easiest way that I then learn how to hone that particular sound. But
Yeah.
equally, having a visual aspect to it and understanding the anatomy that like we all have, I think is such an important element of it, you know? Because then
Yep.
that way it's like you kind of yeah, you know what's there, and then it's just about learning to feel how to engage like different aspects of it, you know?
Exactly.
Not that
Like
I know how to, but you know, it's always something that's really good to have the knowledge of, like, you know, be aware of.
something that was cool to me, and I never realized it, was how much mouth shape dictates sound.
Massive,
You know,
massively. So like so I
like
cannot advocate that enough. Yeah.
because you see like you go to a show, you see a singer on stage, but all you see is this. You don't see what
Yeah,
their mouth is doing. You see the hand on the microphone, and where like tongue placement, mouth movement, mouth shape, like all that has so much to do with what comes out. And I had no clue. It was so cool to
totally.
find that out and see like really what goes into being a metal vocalist, you know. Um,
Absolutely. It is no I think that's the thing as well is like figuring out how to create certain sounds and not feeling like you're limited with because I know a lot of people um they may resonate with the fact of feeling limited. Like, say, for example, if you are, I don't know, like, say if you're female or you've got like a small like stature or whatever, you may think, oh, I'll never be able to produce those really like gnarly guttural noises. And it's
right.
like, no, you can because like what you're working with, like your mouth is like the echo chamber, the resonance chamber. You know, everyone has that, so you can do you can produce all sorts of really cool noises, and you don't have to like physical appearance or whatever. It doesn't play into it. You know, it's so fascinating to me, and it's been really cool, like experimenting. You know, over I think especially over the past year, um, and just learning how to make all these like crazy ass sounds. Like it's so fun to me.
I mean, you could say you're good at it. You're even able to teach the bird how to do it, so that's
Hey,
impressive.
well, what's embarrassing is like he is for real. You're better than me, bro. You are. He genuinely. He just they are fascinating. Honestly, that's the other thing I'm fascinated with is birds. You know,
Yeah.
and how their anatomy works is incredible to produce the sounds that they make.
Yeah.
Um, and the fact that like they don't need training. They just can hear something and
Yep.
straight away like absolutely nail that sound. I'm like, bro, it took me years to get where you are right now. It's such a joke. But yeah, no, it's really cool.
So what led you into metal? Like where'd you start from and where'd you end up? Like
So I have always been like through and through a metalhead, like growing up. Um, just yeah, everything, you know, from obviously you got like Slipknot, the classics, then I get into kind of the more new metal side of things. You got Korn, obviously, Linkin Park, massive inspiration. Evanescence goes without saying. And all these different bands that have really, really shaped I think just me as a person, you know, throughout my life. So I've always been passionate about it. And it's just really, really cool to now be at a stage where I'm like, this is solely what I'm focusing on. To start with, when I got into pursuing music like properly, you know, in sort of 2022, um, I well, I first of all, I used what was supposed to be it was supposed to be my deposit for a flat, but obviously we were all in lockdown, so there was no way I was moving out without like an employee guarantor. So I was
Right.
like, okay, I'll just literally blow all this money on FL Studio and like learn the basics of like production. And thanks, dude. And, and then during that time, I was listening to a lot of drum and bass. And so that's kind of like what I started to learn how to produce
Mm,
first. And that's sort of how I ended up falling into the drum and bass genre, um, with, you know, initially like with collaborations and stuff, which I love, you know, like drum and bass is a very close second to me, in terms of genres that I'm passionate about. Um, but I really always have wanted to incorporate metal or like pursue metal and just even vocally, you know, I've always loved just making weird ass crazy sounds and stuff and you know, not just limited it to singing. Um and it's just been really, really cool the evolution of like now I'm at a point where uh I've got a we've got our first album, like the first Reebz album, that is finished now. And we're ready to drop this year and really focusing on I mean it's kind of a bit of a crossover album. It's
mm.
sort of leading into the full-time focus into metalcore.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, that's kind of like the direction I'm going in, you know, after that. So yeah, I've just always loved metal and it's just so cool to now finally be able to focus on it.
What were, I mean, you said some of the artists, but like, what was there any vocalists in particular that really caught your attention? Like when you were coming up and said, like, this is what makes me want to do vocals?
Yeah, definitely. I've had those like I guess those core memories, you know, throughout my
Yeah.
life or like poignant moments that will always stick with you. And there's one, I always tell people about this one. And it was the first time I ever heard I'm So Sick by Flyleaf
Yeah.
with Lacey Sturm. And oh my God, just hearing again, it's one of those things where it was so unexpected seeing this like tiny girl
Yeah.
and then making these like massive sounds. And I was like, oh my God, I need to, that's what I want to do with my life. Um, you know, and it obviously it took, I had a, not a linear journey to get there, but that was a hugely important turning point for me, like in my life with knowing what I wanted to do and just yeah, I mean stuff like Flyleaf, obviously Evanescence as well. That was such a huge one for me growing up, and I it's really hard though to I could talk about vocalists all day, dude. Like I really could because I'm so fascinated by everyone's individual voices and sound and yeah, there's just so many people that I look up to
That's
massively.
awesome.
So yeah,
Um, yeah, Lacey is a good example of a tiny package being able to do a lot.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I I saw her at a small club over here once. Like it was just her solo band playing, and when she got off stage, like the way the club is set up, the like you have a little stage area and then the floor and like a little backstage part.
Yeah.
She ended up like getting off the stage and then going into the crowd to go backstage. And dude, when I tell you she is tiny, I mean she's like probably 5'1", 100 pounds soaking wet.
Wow.
Like she's tiny, tiny. And she sings her ass off.
Yeah,
She's like, and now that she's so much further into her career than when like So Sick came out, she's so much cleaner with her screams. She's so much cleaner with her singing. Um, but yeah, dude, tiny package, big voice. You know,
that's it. That's
it's
it. And
cool.
as well, mentioning like the vocal development as well over the years,
Yeah,
that's another thing I'm massively inspired by is like hearing how vocalists develop
yeah,
like, over time. I mean, I think another great example of like just amazing vocal development for me is Ollie Sykes, you know,
yeah,
from the early like deathcore Bring Me the Horizon, which is all so sick. It was so cool. But for him to have developed now the like such versatility in his voice,
yeah.
you know, he still can do all that, but with the singing as well, I think that's like a big inspiration to me. Um because I'm all about versatility with my
Yeah.
voice. And like one of the biggest things is trying to um trying to practice and maintain quality with both the clean vocals and the harsh vocals, you know. And it's at time a lot of times I wish I'd only focused on one. Like so many times I'm like, God, I wish literally all I did was like the screaming or the singing, and then I wouldn't have to worry about both. But no, I find it a huge inspiration to hear vocalists and who have developed their voice over the years. Definitely.
Yeah, the same could be said about Danny Warsnop too, from Asking Alexandria.
Sure.
Dude started out as like fucking crazy screams and shit, and then like he's always had the cleans, but then he went on like after he left Asking Alexandria, he formed We Are Harlot, and that was like a country metal sounding thing, but it sounded so good. His voice, I didn't realize that he had that behind him. So to hear him go from like basically deathcore to singing, just clean, straight singing, I
Yeah.
was like, man, this guy's got the total package. But now he doesn't even really sing with Asking Alexandria. Like it's been such a point of contention with the fans. Like now he's not doing anything. So it's like, all right,
Oh,
it kind of sucks, but like through his career, you heard everything, so that still counts, I
totally.
guess. But
Totally. Also, Landon Tours, like the plotting you. Oh my God, his
yeah,
voice is just it's so cool. Like it's just so versatile.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean it totally is. I'm all about that, you know, is just hearing how people develop and also like just just what people can do in
Yeah.
terms of like the clean vocals and the harsh vocals and how they bring that together as well is a massive one. It's so cool to see.
I've been a fan in recent years of how many females are emerging in the scene too, with proper technique. Like it used to just be like a girl's gonna get on stage and try to hang with the boys and try to be like the boys, and now it's like there's a new level of it. You know, it's not women trying to be like the boys; it's women trying to be like the girls. You know, it's like you have people like Amy Lee. Amy Lee's always been the same person. She's always been Amy Lee.
Yeah.
Um, Big operatic sound, really cool music, a lot of backing behind her, and then it evolves, and you have like Spirit Box come out, and
Yeah.
Courtney is just a queen, dude. Like she's
Totally.
got that to a science, you know. She's got the crazy screams, and she's got amazing cleans. And now you have I mean, to stay in the same line because they all just did a song together too. You have Poppy, who started out as a
Yeah.
YouTuber, and she really had no like idea what she wanted to be. She was kind of
Yeah.
all over the place, but now she's kind of focused down into, hard rock metal, but she's got that weird poppiness to it still. Um, but it's cool hearing the the embracing of being a female in metal music and just doing it because, rather than just because like you're trying to prove a point with something. It's like, nah, man, it's cool. It's a cool movement to see.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and
It
and
is so cool.
it's all the juggle between balancing the cleans and the screams and like it's just I don't know what emerged over the past few years, but I'm seeing it more and more, and it's better and better. You know, um, I would say at this point, like the women are outranking the men when it comes to vocal production. Because the guys are all trying to like just stay the same. You know, you have like Sam Carter, who's always going to be Sam Carter. He's always going to do the half clean, half screams. He's like,
Totally.
Corey Taylor is always going to be Corey Taylor. Like but the new generation, I feel like, is in good hands, and it is that balance. It is that like training of technique
Absolutely.
between clean screams, being good at both. Um, there's so many bands out there, men and female alike. Like they just emerge being good at one, and then they balance with something else. Like you have like I Prevail. You have Eric, who is phenomenal as a screamer. And you had Brian who balanced that out with the clean vocals. I mean, now Brian's gone, but like whatever. But the dual vocalist thing started to pop up more because one vocalist can't do both roles. So it's cool that
Totally.
like you're seeing more vocalists actually become vocalists rather than just stay in the lane of, well, I could do one, but I can't do the other. I think anyone can sing. I think anyone can do the screams and gutturals and shit. It's just a matter of like,
Yeah.
are you willing to, you know?
Absolutely. That's what I always say is like it's always a case of I always like to set people straight, and I'm so it's so nice and like heartwarming when people say really nice positive stuff to me and like, oh, you're talented and everything. But I like to keep it real with them and say like it's less about talent and it's more literally just about the fact that I practice every day like like a psycho like every and but to me it's not practice because I love it. I love doing it.
Right.
My neighbors probably hate me. That's either that or they're deaf. I don't know, but or they're just legends and they're fine with me. But like, I just love making crazy noises. Obviously, I've got this dude as well who by me who loves all the crazy noises as well. And so, but the reality is that it's all practice,
Yeah.
and if you're doing stuff every day for maybe hours or maybe not hours. I don't know. I don't really put like a time limit on stuff. I just do what I love
Right.
basically, and it just happens that doing what I love also is practicing, and that's really how you get anywhere with it. And that's why I'm always thinking like, I'm always aspiring to be better and the best version of who I can be. Um, that will never stop. And I think that's the most important thing is that, like you've said, anyone can do it, but you gotta really want to do it
Yeah.
and put the hours in, I guess. That's
It's
the most important thing.
it's a discipline,
Yeah,
you know.
totally.
Like for me, I I'm terrible when it comes to practicing. I could be way better than I am, but I don't have the patience to sit there for hours and hours a day playing the same thing. Um, and that's to my own detriment, Like I don't know. That's one major failure with me, but like I could play competently. It's just I could be better, but I haven't put the
Oh,
time
dude,
or the work in.
don't
So
don't be hard on yourself. But no, I get it. The thing I think obviously with as a vocalist with your voice it's easy like you don't have to get an instrument out, plug stuff in,
yeah,
switch stuff on. Like your voice is there, like you can just
right.
like throw that out whenever you want at any point. So and I totally so don't be hard on yourself. I'm the same with like piano and stuff. I'm self-taught with piano. I can play a tiny bit of guitar just on like weird ass tunings, like all my own like made up tune. People are like, oh, what tuning is that? I'm like, I have no idea, dude. Like, I'm really sorry. Um, and the reality is, I could be better at both those things,
Mm.
but I don't practice it. I don't practice enough. And but I'm not gonna hold it against myself, and you shouldn't either, dude. Like, it's being human. It's fine.
But it does talent, you said before, it's not necessarily a factor because anyone can do it, but talent does come into play, especially when you're a vocalist. Like anyone can do anything theoretically, but as a vocalist, you need to have uh I mean, you have to sound good, right? You have to know how to hit key.
Yeah,
You have to be able to carry a tune and do the thing, but you have to have a talent for technique and you have to have a talent for placement too. Because anyone can get on a mic and scream their faces off for 5 minutes and call it a song, but it's a matter of doing it tastefully. And I think that's where the
totally.
talent comes in, is the decisions that you make when you're writing. Same thing with guitar, same thing with drums. Anyone
Yeah.
could theoretically do it, but can you do it in a way that's going to complement a song, or are you doing it in a way just to complement yourself? You know? Um,
You're so right. You're so right, dude. Like I've learned a lot about songwriting over the years
you
now,
know,
especially like doing a lot of collaborations with people in different genres, and you kind of learn what different genres need or want vocally. And I'll be real, like because I'm so all encompassed with vocals. I get like I call it instrumental blindness where I get like so into doing vocals. A lot of the time when I do like collaborations and stuff, I always say to people, I'm like, listen, I probably sent you way too many vocals here. Just pick and choose like what you want. But at the same time, I have tried to hone the discipline of understanding structure, and balance, and as you say, what the track calls for, as opposed to what you're just doing for the sake of it. And don't get me wrong, like there's occasions where doing stuff for the sake of it, just on tiny moments, is great. It's
Oh,
good
of
hype, it's
course.
fun, it's funny, it's great. But there's a very fine balance with it. You don't want to be doing that like all the time, because otherwise it's like it just gets old.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. And yeah, I guess songwriting's another thing I'm really fascinated with. Yeah.
So I late last year, like for the podcast, I decided like I want to have an episode where I get a bunch of people together and we're going to talk about Linkin Park because they're a band that has resonated with me since they came out. Um, so I was like, I know enough people that we can make this work, but I want to add another layer of this, and I want to put a band together, one night only, do a cover set, and that'll be basically integrated into the episode. And
Yay.
I got a bunch of friends together. We started jamming, and it turned into like an actual thing that we're doing now. We're still doing this.
That's
We're
so
planning like
cool.
to keep going with it. But I have two guitar players, so it's myself and my buddy Dylan. We have a bassist, DJ, drummer, two singers. So there's seven of us.
Nice.
And the balance part of this comes in with the fact that like Linkin Park only has two guitar players on some songs, not everything. So we're trying to integrate two, and we're trying to integrate vocals into a lot of things too. But um, there's not always room for double of everything. So we're like, well, how do we make it work? Because I don't want anyone feeling left out. I don't want anyone feeling like they don't serve a purpose. And as we're trying to work through all this shit, we're overcomplicating things. My drummer's like, yo, just service the song. He's like,
Totally.
you know how it goes already. You know how it's supposed to sound. Just do what services the song the best. Don't overcomplicate. I was like, man, I'm 37 years old learning that lesson. I was like, that's something that I needed to hear 20 years ago when I'm writing music. Like, it doesn't have to be the fastest, the most flashy. It doesn't have to be any of that. It just has to be
Yeah,
what would you want to hear? In the simplest form
totally.
of it, what would be, and that's the beauty of music is that it has to be passable, you know?
Yeah,
Like the greatest song ever written was never intended to be the greatest song ever written. It was something that someone wrote and they're like, I think that sounds good. Good enough to
that's
show
it.
other people. And then other people like, holy shit, this is the best thing I've ever heard. Mozart never made the best song ever or intended to make the best song ever. He just put some shit on a paper and said,
Yeah,
yeah, we'll see what this does. It's just how it affects people. So that really like that broke it down to basics for me. And ever since, like, I mean, that was August, right? So I've been going back with my own writing now, and I've been tweaking things to be like, am I doing too much here? Like, am I doing something just because I want to hear it, or am I doing something that's actually going to be something that someone wants to hear? So
sure,
things
sure.
like that,
Uh,
like, service the song, service what is necessary, The flair is fine. The flair rules. But what's it gonna do? You know? That's the thing with like
Absolutely.
songwriting is weird, because sometimes
It's
you want to hear all that, but other times it's like, "Nah, just break it down, keep it basic, you know?
I totally feel that. I mean, like my biggest my biggest thing in life is that I'm a massive overthinker. Like I overthink everything.
Same.
It's probably the phrase people say to me the most. They're like, "Reed, like just don't overthink stuff. Like it's fine." And I always do. And you're so right. I think music is about like writing songs is about not overthinking it
Yeah.
and getting into a mindset where you stop overthinking it. I mean, it's all for me, it's all just part of the writing process. I start out with something, I get really, really locked in. I think because of the ADHD, I get loads of ideas coming all out at once. I get everything down. Then I start overthinking, and I'm like, oh, like, does that? But that should be there. But that's a really cool vocal. Maybe that can stay. And I go through this kind of like process of elimination, where I'm like, as the days go by, when I'm writing stuff, I start to see the track more. Like I start to hear it more and what it needs versus what it doesn't need. And but I also I totally feel you with stuff like, for example, like if you're doing a Linkin Park cover, again, it's something I totally can relate to because me and Sabotage Toronto is Broken, we did a cover of Somewhere I Belong
I heard that.
last year. Oh, cool. Oh, amazing.
Awesome cover, by
Um,
the way.
Thank you so much. I mean, but I'm sure you can relate where when I say that, like, Linkin Park is just the most iconic band with the most iconic sound to so many millions of people.
Yeah.
And there's always that level of pressure and expectation of like, okay, if I'm going to do this, like, it needs to be delivered right, you know?
Yup.
Um, and it's that kind of, yeah, it's that thing. I'm so grateful that I had my bros like Toronto is Broken and Sabotage to work with for that, because there was so many aspects of it that I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting into like overthinking territory. And Toronto's Broken's kind of like sort of resetting things for me and be like, nah, you know what, dude, like this is fine, like this is what it needs. And this me, I'm like, no, I need to do more and better and louder. And he's like, no, this is fine. So it's that I totally get it, when there's also an expectation that you feel like you've got to meet with certain things and still try not to overthink that process, when you feel that way. So yeah, I get it, dude.
It's kind of like I don't know about you over there, but over here everyone is so fascinated with the Beatles. Do you guys have that over there where everyone's like just batshit over them? Or I don't know if
I
that's just like an American embrace of them.
Mate, you know what? To a degree, I kind of live under a bit of a rock. Like,
Okay.
I'm not, I'm not a good spokesperson for the majority of like mainstream British things. I mean, yes, I think like a lot of people do mention the Beatles. Maybe it is more of a thing though over for you guys.
So
Yeah,
I don't enjoy them. I used to. But I think it was also a lot of like because I was taking music classes and my teacher worshipped the Beatles. He's like everything that they've done was just it was the next major thing in music. I'm like, I guess I like them. I guess I'm supposed to, right? Like if you're gonna
yeah,
be in music, you have to like the Beatles, I guess. And like it took me a while to realize that like I don't have to. Objectively, I don't enjoy their music, so I'm not gonna force myself to. But
totally,
it's just this like the pedestal that they get put on in terms of their songwriting. And it's like, but if there was ever a band that just kept shit simple, it's them. They didn't do anything in their writing to impress anybody. Like
totally,
they weren't thinking about like music theory when they were writing. They weren't thinking about maybe I should add a diminished chord here, maybe I should, you know, just do weird musical ideas here. Like maybe when they were on LSD, they thought of that kind of shit, but not in the basics, not like in their early 1960s career, you know. Um,
yes,
but it's like they wrote music to write music and they got super successful with it and they struck gold, you know. But there's such an analysis of the Beatles catalog and like okay, sometimes I understand it, sometimes I really don't because it's just they weren't doing it on purpose is the point. Is that like we're analyzing something that was never meant to be analyzed, you know.
totally, totally.
There were just a bunch of kids really, just kids playing music and
Doing what they wanted to do. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
And we're here all these years later. They're like, but what would John have done? I'm like, I don't know. Probably mushrooms. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like not overthinking it or like overcomplicating it. And
Exactly.
yeah, I totally get that, man. Like it's interesting to see. I think again, talking about expectation, with the way that music is evolving and stuff,
Yeah.
I feel like especially now, there's a lot of pressure for everyone to do the best possible thing ever.
Yeah.
And I think overthinking really ties into that mentality.
It does.
Um, and it's a big, big change from obviously back then. And the I guess like the and I guess like the just the raw simplicity of music
Yep.
that there was back then. And yeah, compared to now, it's like everyone wants to do something that's even more epic than the last person or the last song that they wrote or whatever. And yeah, it just kind of gets a bit crazy. And sometimes it's cool to just like take a step back
Yep.
and reevaluate and just think, you know what, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And I think as well, that's that you've touched on it just now, the beauty of how music is so subjective as an art form. Like what one person absolutely loves may not resonate at all for the next person. And I think that's really great. I love that. It just, it just means that actually you have got the freedom to do exactly what you want.
Mhm.
And don't worry about it. Not everything's going to be everyone's cup of tea,
Right.
as we say here.
Um, yeah, you actually just hit on it too. It's become so competitive with
Yes.
who's gonna do the next big thing. It's like, why don't you just
Yeah,
try doing what makes you happy, Like,
exactly.
don't be a dime a dozen band. Like, if you turn on, like, do you get? I don't know. This is such like a cultural thing here. Do you guys have satellite radio and all that kind of shit?
Uh, do you know what? Right, I'm going to sound like such a moron with this. Like,
Can't sound dumber than I'm
I don't
sounding
know if
right
we
now.
have I mean, we have radio, obviously. I don't know about satellite
Okay.
radio. Maybe we do. Someone can correct me. And tell me whether we do or don't in any comment sections. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say we probably do. We definitely have radio though. Yeah, obviously.
So the reason I'm asking, like, I don't know if it's like an American thing only because I thought that there were like country restrictions to it, but there's uh satellite radio. It's like all uncensored, but it's like a lot of up and coming bands. Like depending on the channel you're listening to, there's a channel called Octane, and it's all like hard rock. Nothing really stand out, nothing really special, but it's all like the From Ashes to New, I Prevail, all that kind of genre.
Yeah,
Like
I've heard the
if
phrase octane core, so I don't know if
exactly
that's yeah.
exactly
Okay,
where I'm
yeah,
going with this.
cool.
Um that's case in point what I'm talking about is that there's so many bands that are literally dime a dozen bands and they are all in that one genre. No one sounds any different from the band before or the band after them and there's no competition there. It's like they got the same producers, they got the same sounds. They're all so similar that I wish they would compete. I wish that
Really,
there would be that element of, well, we got to do better than that. Because yeah, it's cool that you have your career, right? You're making music, you're playing it for a living, you're touring, you're getting exposure, radio play, you got fans, you got people stepping up to bat for you. But at the same time, it's like, well, you're doing the same exact thing that thousands of other bands are doing, the same exact sound. It's like,
yeah,
be different, be something that challenges the norm at this point.
yeah.
Um,
I
because
I
like
get it.
with metal, I mean, there's bands that definitely try to sound like other bands. To try to capitalize, there's vocalists to try to sound like other vocalists to capitalize, but with the general hard rock scene right now, it's so unbelievably generic that it's begging for change. Um, but like music should never be competitive. It should never be a matter of one-upping, but be
Mhm.
different. Break the rules, because that's what it's about, especially with
Totally.
hard rock and metal music. Break the rules. Don't do what
Yeah,
everybody else is doing just for the sake of doing it.
I
Like,
agree. I totally agree, dude. Like, I think it's interesting because it's almost like a trap that people or like artists will fall into where there's been an artist or a band that has got incredibly successful at doing with a specific formula, doing a specific thing, and that's what has defined them, and it has, they've become really, really successful with it. And then I guess it's just kind of human nature in that respect to think, oh well, that formula worked. That's what I'll do.
yeah.
But I think you lose sight of the fact that it worked for them because that's them.
Hmm.
That's not. uh, Yeah, it might get you traction. I don't want to say for sure. Like copying stuff might get traction, but at the end of the day, you're not you. I think you've got to be yourself, or you've got to. you've got to just have your sound and do your thing, I think I think that's really important, definitely.
So I'll tie this back into what I said before about Nuno Betancourt. You know, you have a band, let's say like Godsmack. They have their sound. They have their cookie
Yeah.
cutter formula, and it has served them for 30 something years. But if I tried to do that, I'm not going to sound like Godsmack. I'm going to sound like me trying to play
Yep.
Godsmack, you know?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
You
Yep.
have your own signature the second you try to play anything. So
Totally.
I don't think anyone should try to be another band in that regard. Like, dude, I'm in a Linkin Park cover band. We don't sound, I mean, we sound like Linkin Park, but we sound like a bunch of dudes out of Long Island playing Linkin Park. We don't sound
Yeah.
like the band, you know? There's only so much you could do to try to mimic or copy someone else. At some point, you do
Totally.
have to embrace your own artistry of it, you
Yeah.
know?
It's weird. It's almost like, I mean, for me personally, I have this. It's crazy because it kind of like it goes two ways for me. One is that I could never ever be anything other than myself. Like I've always embraced that I'm the only thing I'm ever going to be good at is being myself. Um, so I've always stuck with that. But at the same time, there's a scary aspect to it of having the confidence to have your own sound and do your own thing and be yourself. I struggle with confidence a little bit, and it really is so cool, but also crazy to me when there's people out there and they're like, "Oh my God, I love what you do.
Yeah.
I love how you sound." And I'm like, "Oh, no way, man." Like whenever and I always say it in comments and stuff that it means a hell of a lot to me because it genuinely does. Because I'm kind of in like almost disbelief that I'm like, "Oh my God, like people actually want to hear me. Like this is really cool." Because I'm not trying to be anything other than me. Um, and I do understand that there can be like a kind of like a scary aspect to having the confidence to do that. It's always something that I'm working on is confidence, but I think ultimately like it will pay off because you will have your unique sound, and
Hmm.
that's what people will know you for and remember you for. And yeah, I think I to any artists or bands that aren't sure like what to do or where to go, like what direction to go in, like just literally do what do like what is reflects you.
Yeah, definitely. No, you should always be who you are. Because I mean,
Yeah,
why would you want to be anything else? You know, you're putting all the work into being this artist, trying to be this person. Embrace it, you know?
exactly.
Um, that's something I have never understood is why would you be so unhappy in your own skin trying to be somebody else when it's you who's doing that change? You're the one
Totally.
making that happen. Embrace that shit and roll with it because that's who you are,
Yeah.
you know? Um, yeah, it's just too many people. I don't know, and me too, because I've suffered with confidence my whole life. I've suffered from like, dude, I mean, all the same shit: overthinking, anxiety, depression, like the whole thing, and like. It's taken work to come out of all that kind of stuff, but I'm not going to
Yeah,
try to mask it and say that I did it trying to be somebody else. You know, I got through all that shit trying to just be me, you know, because I'm the one that stuck
exactly.
with me, you know? Like,
But that's the most important thing though, is like you overcome those things as yourself.
yeah.
That is, I mean, that's what's gonna hold up in the long run,
Hmm.
rather than, oh well, I've just been trying to mask this or pretend to be like that just to get through all this. You'll get to the end, you'll get out the other side, and then you'll be like, I don't know how to deal with this as myself. And
Exactly.
that's what I've always found. I'm like, I've always tried to keep, well, it's not really trying because I wouldn't be very good at, at trying to be anything other than me, to be fair. Um, yeah,
So,
it definitely wouldn't be able to pull it off.
just tying it to the whole confidence thing, like I know that you've done a lot of studio work, but have you done any live work?
Yeah, so I'm really excited for again for this album that we're going to drop this year, and also getting the live band together, because it's always been my dream to have the live band shows. Up till now, it's always been DJ sets, which I've
Okay.
also really enjoyed. Like, don't get me wrong, I love I love the vibes. I love being on stage. It's really, really cool. It's kind of weird because again, the confidence thing, the idea, sometimes the idea of certain things is like, oh my God, this is like, I can't do this. This is going to be too much.
Right.
But then once I'm there, I'm like, yo, this is the hype. Like, this is great. Um, so I've always really enjoyed that. But yeah, my ultimate dream has always been to have the live band shows. So that's kind of what we're working towards, what we're putting together at the moment. Again, it's kind of like I don't know how it is for other bands, and I really envy other bands where it's like, oh my God, like you guys are just all you're all together like instantly. This is so cool. I think it's a little bit more difficult because I don't live in like a major city or anything. I kind of I live like out in the countryside. And but still, if you've got a vision to do something, you can get it together, and that's sort of what I'm in the process of right now. Is we've got the band together, and it's just a case of, I mean, already though, when it comes to confidence, I like to be as prepared as possible.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of, again, it's been learning curves over the years where I've done stuff live that I've just like not been prepared for,
Mhm.
and it's not sat well with me, so I really like to be prepared, know what I'm doing, vocally have the muscle memory to know what I'm doing, as well. So at the moment it's really crazy because we're like rehearsing a set list of songs that haven't even been released yet. But it's great because it means like once we are at the point where we do our first live show as like the Reebz band,
Mhm.
it hopefully it's going to be solid. So that's the idea, and that's what gives me confidence. It's like preparation, really.
Yeah, I mean, you can never be too prepared, but
Totally.
you kind of have to like prepare to be unprepared too, in a way,
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, and that's the other thing I've learned is that no matter how solid and how prepared you are before a show, like stuff's not going to be the same when you
Yeah.
actually perform live. Like things could go wrong, things can be different,
Hmm.
whatever, like anything can happen. So it's kind of like for me, having that preparation allows for like allows that sort of, I guess, stuff that might not go to plan to happen
Yeah.
and for it to still hold up. I think that's for me that's really important. And just put on a good show for people that they enjoy, the crowd enjoys, and you can interact with them, and it's just good vibes. Like it's really important for me.
Yeah, you definitely have to like if you think you have it all together, you have to just know that something's probably going to go wrong at some
Oh
point.
yeah.
The guitarist
Yeah,
may
yeah.
snap a string, mic might cut out, but it's just a matter
Yeah.
of how you handle it, you know?
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, we had so much of that actually when
yeah.
we did a mini tour last year with Toronto's Broken,
Cool.
um which was really, oh my God, like I got so sad when that was over, I was like,
Yeah.
this is the coolest thing. It's all ever wanted to do is this, and like the only thing that could top this is like having the live band aspect.
Yeah.
But all I've ever wanted to do is just like be on stage and like absolutely like like absolutely rip it on the mic. Like that's what I want to do. Um, but granted, we had a lot. We had so many issues. There was one show that we did, and like the mic issues that we had at one point, like I felt like honestly, Sabotage is such a professional guy. Like he's just honestly such a brilliant musician, and he handled it so well. But yeah, his mic, like everything was just like feeding back, like out of control. I'm just like plodding along with the vocals, like doing I couldn't hear anything at all. Like I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know what's going on. I don't even know what part of the set we're in right now. Seb handled it like an absolute champ. Like I think that's the thing as well. Is like when you all come together as a team and
Yeah.
you all just you learn how to handle these things. I think is a great thing. You know, it's a really good skill to have,
Yeah.
obviously.
Dude, I've been in so many situations where like we, I mean, we were prepared for something to happen, but then we let our guard down. Like I always tell every band I'm in, like guitarists, bring an extra guitar with you,
Yep,
bassists, bring an extra bass with you, vocalists, like do something to make sure you're preserving your voice. Like just think
totally.
ahead because that's the overthinker in me is that like I think something's gonna go wrong at every fucking turn, you know? And it's like, all right, maybe I'm paranoid, but also I'm ready for it. So like
Yep.
if I snap a string because I had to learn the hard way. I my my band I'll call it my first actual band. We played a show and it was our album release show and it was like we drew about 100 people on our own to this show. So it was a big deal for us. And four songs in, I snapped a string. But
Oh man.
I was playing a Floyd Rose guitar. You don't just go off stage and change a string. That guitar's out of commission now. So,
Oh, is it? See, I don't know much about guitars, but I know like, yeah, as you said, some of them it's like a whole operation. It's like
yeah.
a just surgical procedure to have
Yep.
to change a string. Oh shit. Oh man.
So we played in two separate tunings, and this one was set for like the bulk of our show. But I can't go and like tune up and tune down because it'll never stay in tune with the other guitar.
Oh man.
So I was like, shit, what do I do? I had one of my friends, luckily, who had played the same night, he ran out to his car and got me his. So I had to tune his guitar that was like basically standard tuning all the way down. Like it's never gonna hold. But
Oh man.
I was like, all right, well, we'll see. We'll roll the dice on it. But ever since that moment, like since I played two different tunings, I'm bringing four guitars now. It was such a pain in the ass at every single show to have four guitars. But I'm like, no, I'm never letting this happen again. I'm always staying ahead of the curve with this now.
Oh man. That's yeah. That's it. I mean, sometimes you've got to learn the hard way.
Yeah,
I've had to learn the hard way with so many things to be prepared.
yeah.
And you know, it's yeah, it's got to be done though. Sometimes it's the only way. And then you never forget that. You know,
And
you're never gonna forget it.
a band I was in after that, we were playing a show, and I said to my guitarist, "Is like, make sure you bring a backup." He's like, "No, I don't need a backup. It'll be fine. It's a half hour long." I was like, "Trust me when I tell you this. Bring a backup." He's like, "No, we'll be fine." So he shows up with his one guitar, and
Um,
in a 30-minute set, I would say a song or two in, he snaps a string. And I was like,
oh,
"I told you, bring a backup."
oh
And
damn.
so now he's panicking. He runs off stage to go change his string. And I was like, just grab mine, grab my second one and worry about it later. He's changing his string and now we're panicking. And we're like, what the fuck do we do? So we start playing Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit. And thankfully, my friend John was in the crowd. He jumps on stage, he takes the mic, and he's doing vocals for the whole thing, while my other guitarist is in the back changing his string for 5 minutes. I was like, dude, I mean, place and time, like, thank God we had that one in our back pocket, but still,
That's it.
that sucks. Like to have to be
Ag-
like, now we're panicking.
Oh man. But again though, it shows really good teamwork, you know, like
Yeah,
you all came together, you improvised,
yeah,
you got through it. And that's a really that's a great thing. That's a great thing to have been able to do. So you give
yeah.
yourselves credit for that, definitely.
It's yeah. I mean, it was fun throwing down a Limp Bizkit cover. I'm not gonna lie, that was great. But
Yeah,
like
no,
at the same
you know,
time,
I
like
totally want to do a Limp Bizkit cover like so much.
we ended up revisiting that same cover right before the pandemic. I mean, like right before. Um, we had a show with John's band, and I said to him, like, we should throw down break stuff. So like, we should just plan it this time and do an actual cover of it. And it was great. It was so much fun, but like that song has saved my ass, dude, so many times.
That's
The
so good.
the first show we did with my Linkin Park band, like my singer had to run off stage and like he had an emergency he had to take care of. So he goes off stage and we're like, what the hell do we do? Is Tom okay? What's going on? I was like, I don't know. So we start playing like Alter Bridge and one dude who was in the crowd for that other one where my guitarist actually snapped his string. He's like, "Yo, Matt, play break stuff." I was like, "Okay." So impromptu, we start playing break stuff again. We get through like half the song before my singer comes back on stage. It's like, man, I have to thank Limp Bizkit because
That's it, man.
they've saved my ass in every single situation at this point.
That's so good. That's so good. It's great though to have those like, like just to be able to have those bailout songs where you're like, okay, if,
Yeah.
if I need a safety net,
Yep.
this is what we do. Like
It's like
that's brilliant.
Old Faithful.
Yeah, exactly. That's great.
So when you say that like you toured and you did like drum and bass and DJ sets, like you haven't actually fronted a band yet, or
No, I haven't, which
oh
is why I'm so excited.
that's so
I
exciting,
had
dude.
I know, man, and it's always been what I've wanted to do. I was really lucky and like honored to have kind of a little taste of it last year when I got to do like a walk on with the Graphic Nature guys who are
Hmm.
legends. Graphic Nature's like another band that is a big inspiration to me. And yeah, I got to do a walk on with them for one song,
Oh, cool.
and that was like my first experience of like the full band experience. And I was like, this is the shit I'm meant to be doing. Like this is what I want to do with my life. It was so good. Yeah, it was a great turning point. Like I say, I'm not knocking the DJ sets. I really, really enjoy. I
Yeah,
love doing DJ sets, but having that live band element for me, it's just like
there's nothing
it's the
better.
goal, man. It's the goal, definitely. I'm so excited for it.
I can't wait to see that.
Oh man, I can't wait to be able to share it with everyone. It's going to be great. And again, in terms of the preparation, I'll be honest, it's not just I think I use the preparation thing as a little bit of an excuse at the moment. I also just love practicing.
Yeah.
Like I just love it. I have so much fun. My drummer is actually like he literally lives like 10 minutes from me. And that's where our practice room is and stuff. And at the moment, I mean, how we get round because my guitarist, who's also my producer, Toronto is Broken, he
Hmm.
lives like I think he's like about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from me.
Oh
So
wow.
realistically, we can't always all like get together to do. Sorry, why are you starting up now? Gotta keep that beak zipped for a minute. So what we end up doing is a lot of the time it'll be like me and the drummer practicing. We'll have all of Chris's stuff like on a backing that we can just use at that for that practice session sort of thing. And then as we get closer to the point of doing the live shows, then we'll all be together doing stuff all in person together. But I mean, really, I just love, yeah, just smashing out the vocals in a practice room. It's just getting the vibes, man. It's
Yeah.
really, really great. It's nothing better. So, but yeah, again, it is preparation, and hopefully, when we get around to doing the live shows, which will be kind of later this year,
Hmm.
um, I really hope that I'm going to be able to give everyone a good solid show that
I
people will enjoy.
I have to say I love your enthusiasm about this. Like you have such a passion,
Oh,
and I could tell that like this is what you like live for.
yeah,
Um,
man. Yeah.
it's
Thank
so
you.
cool. It's so cool.
I really appreciate that. And you know what? I think if how you feel about something, if that is reflected in, and people can also feel your enthusiasm for something, it goes a long way,
Oh
dude. Like,
yeah.
yeah, I think if you believe in it and you love what you do, other people, it's kind of like that infectious like positivity sort of
Yeah,
thing, and oh
definitely.
well, thank you so much because it's what I love, and two things I love most in my life, which is music and of course birds. So wherever he is, there he is.
There he is.
Yeah, he. A
Iconic
lot of
bird.
people, a lot of people have said like, "Oh, is he going to be on stage and all this stuff?" If I can find him adequate ear protection, because of course,
Yeah,
bird welfare's got to come first. So he
yeah.
may just be a studio bird for now, for the foreseeable future. But yeah, no, like, all the same. bird or no bird, it's going to be great fun to be doing the live shows. Hell yeah.
So with the album, I mean, I don't know if you're allowed to, but are you allowed to say when it's coming out yet or what the
Oh
name of
yeah,
it is going to be?
definitely. And in my in my classic fashion, we haven't got like a confirmed release date yet because
Okay.
I'm still waiting on a few music videos that we're
Okay.
doing.
Cool.
I like to we basically just again for the sake of preparation is great ideally to have like all the assets together.
Yeah.
Then we can obviously start like locking in release dates, planning stuff out. But the album is it's like the approximate time for dropping the album is going to be in the summer
Cool.
or towards maybe the end of summer. That's also around the time that we're aiming to do our first live show because we really want to tie it in with the release of the album.
Mm.
I think would be so cool to be able to have like our first show
Oh yeah.
when the album drops. That'd be sick. And hopefully a lot of the tracks that we're going to drop as singles as well along the way are going to be on the set list. So that will be really fun. So yeah, haven't got an exact date yet. But you can absolutely bet that when I do, I'll be shouting about it nonstop. Because yeah, I'm really excited, and I hope that there'll be it's quite a diverse range of sound. I think the intention with this album is kind of the crossover point from obviously up till now. I've been heavily involved in the drum and bass and metal
Mm.
crossover. Um, and going forwards as the band, I really want to be focusing more on the metalcore. Obviously, still incorporating elements of like electronic elements within that, but
Right.
primarily focusing on like the metalcore or like deathcore kind of vibes
Cool.
is what I want to be doing going forwards. But I think this album's going to be hopefully a good kind of a good way to cross over. It's kind of there's a very diverse sound on there, and it goes from everything from like electronic stuff to the kind of more hardcore metalcore vibes.
Mm.
So hopefully there'll be something on there for everyone. Hopefully.
I'm sure there will be. But
Awesome.
I mean, you could also I hope you incorporate the electronics with the metalcore too, to a
Totally.
degree. Don't go octane core on me. But
I know. Oh no,
like
dude. I honestly, it's impossible for me. Not me and me and Chris or Toronto's broken. We have this like joke. It's called the Reebz bass because I
yeah,
have this obsession with this specific preset that I made. Um, it's like a really simple, like just kind of Reese bass thing. But I use it in so much stuff and I can't not use it. And it's like it's almost impossible for me not to want to incorporate some kind of electronic
yeah,
vibes in stuff. I think it's cool. I think it breaks, again, it just breaks stuff up a little bit.
yeah.
And it's like kind of refreshing. So yeah, don't worry, rest assured it's gonna be we're definitely gonna keep the electronic vibes.
Nice. I I've become such a fan of that. Like it was something I was never really wholly into. But some bands just do it right, you know? And if
Yeah,
you could do it right, you pull it off, dude, like it's so powerful. Like when
that's it.
when that drop hits, it's there, dude. It's fantastic. Like I
That's
mean, you can see
that's
the
what we
shirt I'm
want.
wearing right now, Orbit Culture. They do that perfectly. Incorporating the electronic elements into, I mean, they have a way heavier sound. If you're not familiar with them, I feel like you would actually like them a lot.
I'll
Based on
definitely have to
based
check it
on
out.
the music you play, I feel like you'd appreciate them.
Awesome.
Um, yeah, dude, Singer is like he does like just straight up death growls and shit, but when he sings,
Nice.
he sounds like James Hetfield.
Oh
Crazy,
wow. Oh,
crazy
sick.
blend. But they're
Wow.
always incorporating like electronics into their music and like just different sounds. I'll send you some stuff. I'll like
Please
send
do,
you,
please
yeah.
do. So we've
But
got like our inspirational playlist,
oh
for
yeah.
both me and the parrot that we're always looking to add to. So I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I think you'd appreciate it, especially with what your background is. You'd like it. Um,
Totally.
so. with your writing for this album, like what was your main inspirations, like lyrically, vocally?
So it was kind of a case of like me and Chris had sort of co-wrote this album together, and like he's been like so awesome, like amazing, like with structuring as well, helping with like structuring instrumentally, writing like these mad riffs and stuff, like really, really cool. And then in terms of the actual themes and like the lyrical themes and stuff, it's all like it's all pretty, what's the word? Genuine. It's just a kind of it's pretty personal to me, like it's all pretty personal stuff, but it's also stuff that like I've wanted to get off my chest, and like
Yeah,
share with the world. And I think again, it's why music's always been such a valuable thing to me,
yeah,
is because I kind of struggle normally in everyday life to articulate how I feel and like express, myself.
yeah.
And I find like the easiest way to do that is like write a song with it
Hmm.
in, like write a song with all the stuff you want to say in. And that's pretty much like how it goes. So it's this it's not the most cheerful album, but having said that, it's coupled with like a lot of energetic vibes and stuff. So I think it's a really nice kind of weird contradiction where you've got like the energetic instrumentals and then these kind of pretty raw like lyrics and stuff. But yeah, everything just touches on various aspects of like my innermost thoughts and struggles or whatever. And yeah, I've just tried to keep it real basically.
Mm.
And I think that's a really nice way to resonate with people. There may be other people out there and they're like, oh my God, this song, like, massively relate to it. And it's always, for me, it's always really heartwarming when, people listen to songs that I've written with, done as collaborations and stuff. But people really have like focused in on the lyrics, and then they'll message me and be like, "Oh my God, you have no idea like how much this song has helped me through this thing in my life." And I'm like, "That's like what one of the major reasons why I do this, to be able to kind of connect with people and like help people through their shit as well." So yeah,
Yeah. That's dude, that's the power of this genre. Is you don't think like you think you're just gonna like put some shit down on a piece of paper, you're getting your feelings out, but you never know who's gonna like find that and be like, wow, this is what I needed to hear today, you know?
totally.
That's cool. I love that for you that you've already had that moment.
Yeah, and again, it's just like I think in a way it makes it slightly scarier for me because it's like it is so genuine, like all the lyrics and everything. Again, it's some of it's not like the most cheerful stuff. I mean, to be
Well,
fair, I'm not really known for writing cheerful shit, so, so that's fine.
neither's anybody in metal.
Totally, totally. But it's in a way it's kind of scary because I'm like, oh, I'm actually going to be putting this out to the world, and then everyone's going to hear it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's great because it's this kind of like, I guess this sense of like catharsis, or I feel like I've finally been able to say everything I've ever wanted to say, and I've never known how before.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, well now I can get this out like in this way on with these songs. And I think it's just a really nice way of kind of like moving on from certain places in your life, and being able to evolve as a person as well as an artist. So
Mm.
yeah, I'm excited. I'm nervous but excited.
Don't be nervous. It's gonna be great. You know, at the end of the
Oh,
day, it's your passion that's on that everyone's hearing, so
thanks,
it's
man.
gonna be great. Um,
Really appreciate
I'm
that.
very excited to hear that. And
Awesome.
did you say the name of it yet? Like, do you have a name for the album?
Yeah, so it's got, again, it's not that cheerful. It's called Shutting Down to Escape, which is
Okay.
kind of like the whole concept of just kind of what my brain, again, whether it's ADHD or whatever, I don't know, but this whole idea of when things get too much, you literally just shut down, you know? And and it's a kind of all delves into self-preservation, and the whole album is kind of centered around this concept of self-preservation and, events in my life that have kind of, caused that, and stuff like that.
Mm.
So it's Shutting Down to Escape is the album name, and yeah, I'm just like really excited for people to hear it.
I
You know,
can't
it's
wait.
it's it's been a long time coming, dude. It's been crazy because of all this other stuff that I do, like all these collaborations and stuff, which is um been, it's amazing, and I love collaborating with people. Um, but I've ended up doing so much stuff, and my schedule's always been crazy that we've never had. It's not really been a conventional album writing process. I guess maybe normally you would set aside like a month or so, and you go in the studio and you will write, and you
Mm.
will create, you will write, and you will record, you will produce, you'll have an album. Or maybe that's the ideal way of doing things. But we literally just had to do stuff as and when we had free time.
Mm.
Like, because both me and Chris like have, we've got our own schedules, we have day jobs as well, so it's kind of like trying to work in all this stuff has been it's been it's been a long process, dude, and we're finally at the end of it. So yeah, really excited to get these last few videos through, and have some really cool stuff to show everyone.
I'm so excited for you.
Oh, thank you, man. I'm
I
really excited for you to hear it.
I like I feel like I caught you just at the right moment in your journey, you know? It's like right
Oh,
before the actual come up is about to happen. And I love that. I love the whole story from your beginnings to where you are today with what you've already accomplished, and that's before you've ever set foot on stage fronting a band. Like that's
yeah, man.
insane, dude. That's
It's
nuts.
gonna be so crazy. Honestly, I'm so excited, and like I say, I swear I'm like a child, like a kid genuinely, I'm like a kid in their bedroom. Like the studio is also like my bedroom as well.
Yeah.
And I'll either be at the practice room with our drummer Rupert, in if we're practicing there, that's great. But a lot of the time I'll just be running through the set, um, literally in the studio here, like jumping around like an absolute maniac. Parrots just watching me like, what the hell is this woman doing? She's crazy. But it's like I have I've got such a passion for it, and you can bet that energy is coming to the stage as well. So
Oh, dude,
it's going to be
I
good
can't
fun.
even imagine.
Yeah, man. Oh, if anything, like I have to kind of rein in how hyper I am on stage, because I'm like I have to remember I need to be able to breathe so I can sing. Like,
Yes.
rather than going absolutely crazy all the time. So yeah, it's going to be good fun. There's always energy, always energy.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully this takes off and you can make your way over to America at some point. I,
Dude, that is
dude,
that is the goal. Absolutely, that is the goal. And I feel like if there's one thing that I feel confident in saying about myself, it's that when I set a goal, doesn't matter how long it takes, it doesn't matter how difficult it is, like we will get it. We will get there.
hell
You
yeah,
know,
dude.
like we'll achieve it. It will happen. And because I just like I lock into the goal, and
Yeah.
then I'm like, that's what I see, that's what I want. And I've got, again, it's like I've got so many aspirations for where I want to go, where I want to take this, and I'm really excited for it to eventually come together. It's going to be great.
Dude, that's nuts. I love that.
I really hope once we make our way over to the US that we get to see you there. It'd be great.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah, man, it'd be awesome.
You just let me know where and when I'll be there.
Definitely, bro. Definitely, it'll be awesome.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna keep you too much longer because we've been on for almost 2 hours. But
Oh, bro. Oh, you can tell I love talking about the stuff that I'm passionate about. So
I can
I'm
talk
sorry
to you.
about that, dude.
I can talk to you forever, honestly. It's just a matter of the
Oh,
episode being consumable, you know?
sure,
Uh
sure, definitely.
I it's a habit that I've been trying to break is that when I started this last year, there were some episodes where it was like, oh shit, we've been going for like 4 hours. So we gotta
Great. That's great.
my buddy Rob came on and we were talking and just shooting the shit in my living room and before I know it I'm like, oh man, it's really late. We've been recording for over 4 hours at this point. And I was like, all right, we gotta wrap, dude. I was like, come on again, we'll do this again. And like I don't have enough space on my phone, so I record everything on Zoom. So I'll store it straight to my computer.
Nice.
And normally like I'll end the Zoom meeting and it'll save whatever. It'll show me the little status bar saying, converting, whatever. I ended it and I didn't see that little converting box pop up. And I was like, no
Oh
way.
no.
So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna give this till the morning. I'll reach out to Zoom and I'll be like, hey, I didn't see this. I just want to make sure. And I looked it up after Rob left. I was like, how long does it take Zoom to convert to digital? And they said it
Yeah.
should take about I forget the ratio, but it was like X amount of time for however long the meeting was. I was like, all right, so I could expect this in about 10 hours. I checked the next morning, it wasn't there.
No.
I called Zoom and I
Oh
was like,
shit, man.
I
No.
was like, I did a meeting last night. I recorded it and it's not on my computer. I was like, what
Oh my
happened?
God.
They said, can you give us the meeting ID? Can you give us the details? I said, yeah. They said, we have no record of that meeting taking place.
What the hell?
I was like,
No.
do you mean to tell me that it never recorded? And they go, unfortunately, it looks like it never recorded.
No
I was like, you've
way.
got to be kidding me. So I told Rob, I was like, dude, we just spent 4 hours recording last night
No.
and there's no evidence of this. I was like, we got to do it again.
Dude, I would have
So
cried. I would have cried. Oh my God. I'm
I,
so
dude, I was so pissed. I was like, I pay for Zoom for this. I pay
yeah.
almost $20 a month to have unlimited recording
Oh.
space for Zoom. And I I was losing my shit. But Rob came over again a week later. We recorded again. We did another 4 hours.
Nice. Nice. Brilliant.
But it was so long that I was like, you know what? Like people listening to the podcast are not listening for 4 hours. I was like, I'm gonna have to break this up into like two separate episodes. So I did part one,
Totally.
part two. But dude, I tend to be very long-winded if I get in like a good conversation with people, and like nothing wrong with that. I just want people to be able to listen to it and process it, you know.
That's it,
Uh
man. That's the best way. That's the best way. I mean, I feel like people can always get a good idea
yeah.
of how much I like to talk. If you're ever unlucky enough that I send you a voice note on like WhatsApp or something, it'll be like 11 minutes, and I'm like, oh my God. Honestly, I get to the end, I'm like, should I actually just delete this shit? Because like this is just ridiculous. Fair play to anyone that ever like listens to me rambling on for that long. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, no, I love to talk about stuff that I'm passionate about, I really
Yeah.
do. It's great.
Yeah, honestly. And like I said before, your passion and excitement for this is infectious. It really is. And
Oh,
I could go for hours on music with you. 2 hours flew by and like doesn't even feel like it. So
totally, man. I know,
um
honestly, I was shocked when you said it and I looked at the time. I'm like, oh my, holy shit, you're right. Like, oh, no,
but
I appreciate that, man.
yeah, dude, I mean I would love to have you back on at any point. Like if you ever want to come on and just shoot the shit, like it would
I
be a
love that.
pleasure to have you. But I'm so excited for everything you have going on. I can't wait to hear about the shows and the album is going to be just I'll promote the shit out of that for you. Like
Oh,
what
thank
you've
you so
already
much.
put out is so good. And like anyone who is into metal music of any variation would like it.
I really appreciate that.
It's not just a one directional thing where it's like, yeah, if you're into these bands, this is who you'll like. Like you've what I've heard is so multifaceted. It appeals to such a wide variety. Like I feel like this could be a really cool thing for you. So
Again, like it genuinely means so much to me to hear that because it's like going back to it all, it's just me doing what I love,
yeah,
and the sound, what resonates with me, what resonates with Toronto, Chris, Toronto is broken, like all these things. We're just doing what we think sounds cool. And I think
Yeah.
that's that. Keep it simple, like, and keep it real, and go with that. And again, going back to vocals as well, it's like if it sounds cool, do it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
if it sounds cool and doesn't like tear your throat up or whatever, like do it. You know, we'll draw the line at that. But like, yeah, I mean, I can't thank you enough, man, and I'm so excited. I would love to, if you wanted to, I'd love to catch up as well. Like
Yeah.
once the album is has dropped, or like we've got an actual release date in mind, or whenever you want. You know, like later this year, it'd be sick if you wanted
Yeah,
to
100%.
catch up and stuff. It'd be so cool.
After those first live shows, I gotta touch base with you again.
Hell yeah. Honestly, and this is the thing as well. I don't give a shit if it's like, if it's in a tiny venue, if like two people turn up, I'm gonna be giving it 1,000%. Like I'm gonna be having
That's the way to
so
do
much fun.
it.
Those two people will have the best show of their life. I'm telling you, like it will be so much fun. You know, and I'm just really excited for everything that I feel can happen and will happen this year and beyond. You know, it's a great point in the journey for me, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, dude, I mean, hard work pays off. So, win, lose, or
that's it.
draw, you're doing what you want to do, you know?
That's it.
You've
That's it.
accomplished so much, and I don't think it's gonna end there, you know? I think that you just keep working towards what you want to work towards, you're gonna hit every goal that you have. Like,
I appreciate
don't
that,
let
dude.
anything stop you. Like, your
Yeah.
motivation is motivating me to want to do more. So,
Oh, that again, you know, that's what I want to hear, man, is being able to like, I don't know, pass that inspiration on, you know, like
yeah.
how inspired I feel to do stuff. If it can help other people feel inspired to want to do their thing, then like that's awesome. It's great.
But it was an absolute pleasure having you on, and I would love to
Oh,
have you back
likewise,
on
bro.
at any point. But definitely stay in touch though.
Oh,
Let me
hell
know.
yeah.
So I wanna be a part of the journey for you.
Totally. I can't honestly, I appreciate so much like just you know just we started chatting. I think it was like in the comments or something,
Yeah,
and then just reaching out. I mean, it was honestly it's been so cool to like be able to meet you as well, like
yeah,
yeah, on
definitely.
Zoom, and hopefully one day, you know, in real life at a show, be
Yeah,
sick. That'd be awesome.
100%.
And
And
yeah,
I
like
mean,
let's definitely keep in touch.
let's try to collaborate on something too.
Hell yeah, man.
I'd love
I
to
would
have you do one of my songs for me.
totally, man. I mean, collaborations is like
Yeah.
my bread and butter. It's like what I do, you know.
Yeah.
I would love to do it. It'd be great.
Well, I mean, I'm looking to put out an album of my own this year. I'm not a vocalist by any stretch. So maybe I'll throw
Yeah.
something at you. And
Gonna
if it
say
sticks, dude.
you know where to find me, bro. Totally.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And anyone listening, this is Reebz. Keep an eye out. One of the craziest vocalists that you need to know. Um, dude, all the
Thank you.
best. Honestly, all the best. I hope this year treats you just fantastically. I can't wait to see everything that happens for you.
And likewise, man. I hope this year is gonna be amazing for you as well. And I can't wait for us to catch up. It's gonna be
Yeah,
great.
I can't wait. But
Oh, awesome.
thank you so
Legend.
much, and I'll talk to you very soon.
Thank you so much, dude. Thank you.
Reebs, you were truly one of my favorite guests that I have ever had on the Face of Music podcast. You are so filled with good vibes and positivity. It was inspirational for me just to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming on and spending some time with me. It was truly a pleasure. I can't wait to see what the future holds for you and the world's only bird vocalist. You both were such a pleasure to have. Let's do it again soon. Best of luck with the launch of the album and the band. That's going to wrap things up for us today, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you go follow every band you heard on today's Top 10. Go follow Reebz. She's blowing up right now, and when this girl gets that first album out, it's going to be to the fucking moon. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and YouTube. Get automatically notified when new episodes are posted. Go follow my socials, Instagram and Facebook. And if you see something on social media that intrigues you, just engage with it. The commenting and the conversation really helps the algorithm. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate the support. You have been listening to the Face of Music podcast. Be well, everybody. Be safe, and I will see you again soon. Peace.